Oh, hi, Dale. Yeah, just can you confirm for me, sir? This is off the top of my head, but I'm certain I've read this. I'm certain I've read this somewhere. It was probably in my notes somewhere. But when we look at the Hadith and the Bible, particularly, Muhammad doesn't do or fulfill any of the standard kind of requirements that a prophet from God would be able to fulfill. For a start, no prophet from God, from Yahweh, abrogates any previous revelation from God. Like there's not a new revelation that abrogates a previous revelation from God that the prophet will speak. Real prophets from God don't do that. So I think that's one, and the other one is that as a confirmation that this person really is a prophet from the real God, God will allow the prophet to do some kind of sign or wonder, some kind of miracle that authenticates that this guy really is a prophet from God, really is a prophet, you know, a real prophet, not just someone making up stories. And the last thing is that the man of God, the prophet of God, when he prophesies something, that prophecy will be accomplished. It will come true. And I don't see anywhere in the Quran or the Hadith. I see the Hadith. There's accounts of Muhammad making these vague kind of prophecies, more than 20 of them. But none of Muhammad's prophecies ever came to pass. So just want to hear your thoughts on that.
Okay, so the first one is, yeah, you're right. No scriptures were ever abrogated. However, if you want to count the law for, gathering the manna, that was a law that only existed for 40 years when the children of Israel were in the wilderness. Starts in chapter 16 of Exodus. It ends in chapter 5 of Joshua after the first harvest came in. But we can't really consider that to be abrogated because Paul used it to teach an ethical principle for equality in chapter 8 of 2 Corinthians, right? He who gathered little had none left over, or had no lack, and he who gathered too much had. Right. So, the other thing is you have to be careful with authenticating miracles. We have numerous prophets who didn't have any of their messages authenticated with miracles, like Malachi or Zephaniah or Habakkuk. The other thing is that you will have false prophets who are able to perform miracles. We see that in Deuteronomy chapter 13, as well as 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And what Yahweh is saying is he's saying, I'm testing you, right? So,
I gotcha. Okay.
So, as Paul said, faith comes by hearing. Yahweh says in chapter 13 of Deuteronomy that, if someone performs a miracle or something, right, and it's crystal clear to you that he performed a miracle, but then he says, right, faith comes by hearing, listen to his message.
Yep.
Follow other gods. It doesn't matter what kind of miracle he did. You know what I'm saying? The message shows that he's not. So this is one of the reasons why when I'm dealing with Muslims, I don't like to bring up the fact that Muhammad slept with a 9-year-old girl, or you know what I'm saying, talking about his character, because we would have to question some of the messengers in the Bible's character.
I understand.
So what it is for me, my rejection of Islam is the message. It's what I hear, and I see a consistent Yahwistic Hebrew prophetic tradition from Genesis to Revelation, and I don't see that when we get to the Quran. It's clearly not God. It's clearly not Yahweh. And the fact that Muhammad was a, you know, kind of a disgusting individual just is kind of like a cherry on top. You know what I'm saying? Icing on the cake, that the message is false, and his character and behavior just is an expression of that. So, but I start with the message.